Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first ever review in the Geelong Zone. My name is Coach Lucas. You can add me on Twitter at LucasR15Sky. Also add the Hoops Crew on YouTube. Nervous, excited. If anyone that knows me on Twitter, I do these a lot with cricket videos. But we are doing this with Geelong. It's my Geelong channel. We will do previews. We will do watch alongs. We are doing a watch along tomorrow. Geelong and Essendon on Friday night. So that will be very exciting. Hopefully it all goes well. We've got new technology. We mentioned in the intro that I posted a few days ago that we need equipment. Well, I've got a mic and I've got a camera. I'm actually using a camera. Despite being on my phone, I'm actually using that's an isolated camera and a microphone. Audio is the king when it comes to this kind of stuff. Not so much video. As long as you got good audio, it doesn't matter. Right, let's get straight into it. Enough of the chit chat. Geelong versus Essendon at GMHBA Stadium on a Friday night. Not good for neutral. I think probably everybody's sick to having these games on a Friday and Thursday. I'm just glad Geelong are not playing on a Sunday, which takes far too fucking long. But nonetheless, here we are, Friday night, Geelong versus Essendon. It's a result or a game where you think Geelong would win by 100 plus. They need to be ruthless. They need to be very... What's the word? They need to go for the kill. They need to just destroy Essendon out the water. It's a couple of games this year where Geelong have not done that this year. Port Adelaide last week, where they could just belted the crap out of Port Adelaide. They let Port Adelaide kind of kick goals late, put the queue in the rack. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see the queue in the rack. For this game against the Bombers, I want 100 points. I want 110, 120, whatever you need to do, just get it done. Having said that, Jeremy Cameron is 25 goals away from scoring 100 goals in a season. I've got my thoughts on that. I'll bring that up later. On Essendon, they really are a basket case at the moment. Their high performance is an absolute disgrace. Injuries everywhere, soft tissue injuries everywhere. The coach, he's been under hot water. Should he go? Should he stay? He's made a lot of moves this season. He's put Peter Wright down back, Merritt down back, Nick Martin down back. He's tried absolutely everything. Last week, McGrath, who's played, as a defender his whole career, basically, in the midfield. So he's throwing the magnets around. He's trying something. Are we being too harsh on Brad Scott, or does it justify the end, or justify the means? Sorry. Maybe they should look at the high performance with all those soft tissue injuries. It's not a once off. Let's make this clear. This does happen at clubs. A couple of years ago, Adelaide had a disastrous run with injury. And I think their manager Burton got fired because of all these injuries and whatnot. So it does happen. I think West Coast also had a horrible run with injuries a couple of years ago during COVID. So it does happen. They will get better, Essendon. But we're here to talk about Geelong. The Cats are in fourth position at this point in time. If the finals were to be played this week, they would play the Adelaide Crows at Adelaide Oval, which for me is not too bad. No, I wouldn't mind that. Living in South Australia, like last year, I went to the Port game and Geelong at Adelaide Oval, the qualifying final. I have a feeling if that did happen again, that would not be a result. It would be a much tighter game. I would go into that game, not a lot of confidence, but there's still games to go. There's still rounds to be played. So, but I'm just saying at this point in time, we'd be playing the Crows at Adelaide Oval. Geelong do sit fourth, top of ladder Crows. Brisbane and Collingwood, and then Geelong. So it's going to, as the rounds go on, the ladder's going to go up and down over, space of 24 hours between each game. Geelong going, if they win tomorrow, when they win tomorrow, they'll go into second position on the ladder. Then we wait to Collingwood, we wait to Brisbane. So a lot to play out. We're gonna do some profile players here, profile player picks. No Patrick Dangerfield this week. He will be managed, which I think is the right thing. I would have liked to see more players get managed, actually. I wouldn't mind to see Jeremy Cameron get managed, as crazy as that sounds, because he needs 25 goals to the Coleman. I don't believe in that. I believe in the Coleman. Like, if you kick 100 goals before finals, of course, go onto the ground and go absolutely nuts. I don't buy that. Well, if he's on 99 goals in the last round and he kicks 1 goal in the finals, we've got to storm the ground. I don't believe in that. Why? He didn't get it in the regular season. Why? Imagine this scenario. Right? We do play Crows, or we play Collingwood, whatever. 3 minutes to go in the last quarter. 3 minutes to go. Right? Imagine this. This is just a hypothetical. Right? Geelong have kicked the last 3 goals. Cameron is on 99 goals. He kicks his 100th. Put Geelong only 1 point behind. Everyone storms the field. There's a huge delay. It's about 8-10 minute delay, which there probably will be. Collingwood get a stoppage, get a goal. I'd be absolutely fuming with our fan base if that happened. I'd be very angry, very disappointed. Momentum is a huge thing in AFL. Huge thing. And if we're in a position where that happens and momentum is stopped, I would not want to be a fan base, because I can imagine Chris Scott going absolutely berserk about it. All right? So if Cameron does kick 100 goals in the finals, please just be aware. Just be aware of what the situation is. If we're up by 100 points against Adelaide or Collingwood or Brisbane, absolutely, go for your life. Go onto the ground. Absolutely. But read the game. Right? We don't want to hurt this club by stopping momentum. Right? Just be aware. Just be aware. I'm not saying don't go onto the ground. No, if you want to go on the ground, you're entitled to that. But I'm just saying, just be aware of the situation. You might be doing more harm than good. So, Patrick Dangerfield managed. I would rest Cameron. I would have rested Basilenko. I would have rested Blitz. We are playing with all due respect, we are playing an Essendon VFL side. We played a Port Sandford side last week, led by Zach Butters, who had absolutely no help whatsoever. So it was more easy to put attention into one player that was dealing with, I'm not going to say scrubs or bumps, but dealing with Sandford players. They have no right to be in that midfield because of the injuries Port have got. Jason Horne-Francis, no Connor Rosie. They're all injured. That's their core midfield. Bergman, core midfield wasn't playing. So let's, maybe we should be aware and just rest some players. Good opportunity. Bring them back for the Sydney game. We don't know what Sydney's going to bring, by the way. Don't know what Sydney's going to bring. They were awful last week against Essendon. Essendon were pretty good last week. There's arguments they should have won that game. Probably should have won that game. Sydney checked out. They can't make finals anymore. But Essendon, I feel they could have won that game. So let's not be disrespectful. But I haven't said that. I'd like to win by 110, 120 points. Another player that's doing very well this season, this is going to surprise a lot of people because I do ride on him a lot, by the way. Shannon Neal. Now people are saying, fucking hell, does Coach Lucas need to be drug tested? Did he actually praise Shannon Neal? No, I don't need to be drug tested. I get that enough when I was playing tier 1 cricket 2 times a week. So no, I do not. I did really say that. Shannon Neal has been impressive. I have to accept that. He has been impressive. Still think his huge weakness is leading behind the ball. I do worry for him when he's going to be up against some good defenders, and when you finish top 4, you're playing the best of the best. It's the best players in the best positions. So I really worried that if he does play behind, he's going to get hugely exposed. And we saw that in the prelim last year against Andrews. Just stayed behind him, and he just got completely outplayed. We understand Andrews is a top 3 defender. We understand that. We get it. But that's what happened, and he does that quite often this season. He leads from behind. He's got a good set of hands. His goal kicking accuracy is very, very good. I'm going to have to admit that. It's elite. It's actually elite. Up there with Darcy Fogarty, up there with Steelthorpe, Darcy, Tex Walker. So when he does get the ball inside 50, there's a 90% chance. That's the stat I just made up. A 90% chance that he's going to kick the goal. He's a very good kick for goal. Just needs to improve his body work and his body work and positioning. But Shannon Neal is well on his way. Now that I've praised Shannon Neal live on YouTube for everyone to replay, hopefully they can get off my back about it. Right. Another player that I enjoyably like seeing is Max Holmes. Max Holmes was absolutely fantastic last week. The Road Runner, Born to Run, is his theme song. It's quite appropriate because that's all he does is run, and run. Very good player. We know the story last year in the prelim final where he did his hamstring. Very sad situation. But I just want our players to be fit come finals, and if you have to rest them, so be it. There's no harm. There's no harm in that. There's no harm. People say, well, there's no point in resting with preseason buys and all that garbage, and I hate the preseason buy. Finishing top 2 or even top 4 should be an advantage. It's not that. I don't think it's an advantage anymore with the preseason buy. It's just not. Bulldogs really exposed that when they won the premiership. If you could recall, they went to Perth in the last round when they won their flag. They went to Perth, and then they had to come back. If that was the previous year, where there was no bye, no way they would have won that flag. Absolutely no way. Brisbane took a heavily advantage of it that last year because of the day's break. Geelong won their first final against Port Adelaide. Brisbane they didn't get a week off. So at the point, Geelong played space of 2 games in 30 days. Well, Geelong played every week. So it's not an advantage anymore finishing top 4 or top 2, in my opinion. I'll clarify. It's not an advantage in the second week as it once was. Not an advantage because of that preseason bye. It's 50-50 with the first week, like the qualifying finals. But when a team gets another break, so they play their qualifying final, so they get a break, then they play the qualifying final, then they get another break, and they play a prelim. That's not an advantage as it once was. It's not an advantage anymore for me. And I think the preseason bye just needs to go. I just don't get it. Really don't get it. It's to stop tanking, stop teams from dumping 50 players out and putting in a reserve comp. I'm not sure who did. I think Ross Lyon might have done that. I'm not sure. Someone in the comments can tell me below. I think Ross Lyon did that once, and then all hell broke loose, and they changed the rules. Bailey Smith, great start to the season, Bailey Smith, but he's had, he's been arrested a couple of times. He's had a little bit of niggles. I don't think he can win the Brownlow anymore. I think Nakos, Nick Nakos has got that in the bag for me. I think he's going to have a Cripps-like voting season, like Cripps pulled a ridiculous amount of votes last season. I think Nakos is going to do the same thing. So I don't think Bailey Smith's going to win the Brownlow. I think that's now gone. Maybe you can give him a game or 2 rest, bring him back for Sydney. Another one that I think needs rest badly, though he had a good game last week, is Tom Stewart. I just think Tom Stewart is the heart and soul of that defence. Plays extremely well on his day, very well. He's so crucial, Tom Stewart, to our defence, and I do like him in the midfield as an inside mid. I think last year, for a set of 10 games in a row when he played in the midfield, I think that was his best form, best career form, in my opinion. We haven't seen him in the midfield at all this year, at all, which is a shame because I think we need that. I think at times we need that. I'd like to see that, especially when we come up against bigger bodies in the finals. Chris Scott, the coach of Geelong, missed a trick by not putting Stewart in the middle in that prelim final when we were up in front. I've done that thousands of times before. I was upset when Brisbane when Ollie Henry kicked that goal, we were in front, and then Brisbane walk it out as easy as you like. That still upsets me. Until we play Brisbane in the prelim and beat them. That's probably going to stay there, along with Carlton, West Coast, Hawthorn in 2008. Wouldn't I love to play Hawthorn in a grand final and belt them? But no, look, Tom Stewart, he's looked banged up this year. Last year he was injured as well for a little bit. Then he came back in the midfield. I remember Jed McEntee, really tagged him last year in the Port game in Geelong, and then that kind of set off a chain reaction. After that, he got thrown in the middle, and Tom Stewart was absolutely fantastic in that midfield. So I want to see more of that. I'd like to see more of that. But I think we can rest him. I think we can bring him back for Sydney, get him good, get his body right, and bring him for the finals. Onto the game itself, I think I'm doing everything but reviewing the game or previewing the game. It is up in Geelong. Essendon do not play there a lot. In fact, they never really play there. Geelong and Essendon do play the country game. That's always at the MCG. Always at the MCG. So it's good to see. It's good to see Essendon down here when they're irrelevant, just like when Hawthorn were irrelevant. They suddenly got a game at GMHBA, but that's about to change, isn't it? But no, it's good getting Essendon down here. We're going to get Richmond down here at GMHBA in the last round. Again, Richmond never, ever come here, ever. I think they came here in 2017 when they won the flag. I think that's the last time. They might have came here during COVID. I forgot. But they hardly go down here. For this game itself, like I said, I think it should be a perfect time to show some to be ruthless, to show no mercy. The Karate Kid just belting the living hell out of Essendon. 100-point win, 110 points. Put 150 on the board. Put 150 on the board. Just completely destroy them. If you want to stat pad Cameron, which I don't like, so be it. Get this. I'd rather see Cameron break in the regular season, so we can all get over and done with. So feed Cameron if you want. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of stat padding. I think it's a team game, not a one-man band. If you want to be an individual, if you want to be a one-man band, go play tennis and go win a Wimbledon or French Open or whatnot. But for sake of Geelong, it wouldn't hurt if you got it before the finals. So I think that would be very bad if we came onto the ground in a wrong situation and it cost us the game. I'd be absolutely livid with our fan base. Essendon, they're facing a VFL team. Like I said earlier, the high performance is an absolute disgrace. Which happens. It does happen. West Coast, Adelaide. Funny enough, they were bottom at that time it happened. So, but maybe we should get Brad Scott some leniency. He's when he played with a full 22 early in the year. Essendon looked all right. They looked good. And then soft tissue injuries just came, hamstrings, you name it, calves, you name it. They had something. So maybe we should wait till next year, give him a full team. If he still is where he is, maybe get the sack. I don't know. But it's a game where I like to see a few things. I like to see a few things happen. I like to see Neil in the ruck, Blitz up forward, Mark Blitz up, play some up forward, Neil in the ruck, Max Holmes at halfback. So I think we can try some things. Maybe we can get Stewart in the midfield. To see how we go. Lawson Humphreys. I've been really impressed by Lawson Humphreys this season, last season. Maybe we can put him on the ring. Maybe we can put him on board. Let's see what happens. It's good to try new things. It's really good to try new things because if something works in the regular season, we can say, you know what? That's our plan B. That's our plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, whatever. So let's do some crazy things. Let's see what happens. Putting Stewart in the midfield at that time, was crazy. But look what he did. The next 6 weeks was unbelievable by Tom Stewart. Unbelievable. Probably our best midfielder in the last 6 weeks, along with Dangerfield. So with no Danger playing, we lack an inside ball. So maybe Stewart can be that. Maybe Lawson can be that. As far as team selection goes, the selection has not been done yet, but it looks like. Danger's not playing. Nevitt, another inside mid ball, is expected to replace Dangerfield. Duncan will not play VFL. Menegola, I think. Sorry, not Menegola. Kolajasny. I was thinking about Sam Menegola there, not Kolajasny. Apologize to Jazzy. He is set to play VFL. Absolutely fantastic by Kolajasny. He's been injured for a long, long time. So it is very good to see him in the VFL. Cam Guthrie, I think, is going to play VFL, although I'm not quite sure. Ollie Henry is in the concussion protocol, so he will not be playing VFL. Apologies to Kolajasny and Sam Menegola. Sam Menegola is retired now. Good player, Sammy, on his day. Very good player. Played in that losing grand final against Richmond, which is a sad way to end. Especially for Gary Ablett Jr., a terrible way to end. How he went out like that was pretty sad to see. But it is what it is. It's called football. It's called AFL. It happens. But anyway, thank you for joining me on my first review. Preview. I feel like I've done everything but preview. The Geelong and Essendon round 22 game. But like I said, this is our first video. And it will take time. I remember when I did my cricket videos, the first cricket video I did was very, very nervous. Go back to it. Go onto my cricket podcast and have a look at the first video compared to now. Chalk and cheese. So thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. Please also check out the Hoops crew. Make sure to like and subscribe there if you are subscribed here. A great bunch of guys. I'll be doing post-game live on their show. I think the Paul James show will be on tonight, so go watch that, please. And as for me, watch along. Exciting. Camera looks great. Audio, I'm not sure about the audio until I play. I've been experimenting backstage. It sounds like okay. Sounds okay. Not great. But we'll see when I replay this video. But anyway, thank you so much for joining. And I look forward to the watch along tomorrow or Friday, wherever you are watching from. And goodbye for now.